Okay, we are right now online, so I am listening your opinion and all the comments that you want to do about this article.
Okay. It was very interesting because they reflect the reality. I mean, the indigenous people has always this kind of trouble because of the investors are there from mining sectors, or maybe the even the government is against the develop because they wanna live in calm, like protecting their area, this ancestral area they have protected for a long time, and the government uh, don't realize how important it is for them, but also for the human race, because it's in long terms it's gonna save us. I mean, nature and the wildfire that they're causing, because at some point I see this like they're trying to put these people out of nature, and they wanna because of the economic profits they want to own this land for companies, for extraction companies, for mining. Even they talk about in one part about soy production. They are very interested in this because you're feeding with this soy the livestock, and
Yeah.
it was very clear for me. You want, or you have this interest for the livestock, and then to the in the economic topic. Okay, you want money, that's all that it matters for you as a government. And then I was very interested and make me think, uh, let me think, in the part when they talk about COVID-19,
Mhm.
because a lot of people were there from another, maybe companies, or this mining sector, and indigenous people suffer this illness. They talk about some percentage, 33% more. I mean, they're higher, they're exposed, and they were all the time protecting themselves in the community. And now, I don't know if I could say this, like outsiders come to this place and try to manage everything as they want, and for me it's not right.
Okay. Now I want that you give to me an example about the same situation but in your country. If you can, like, of course, with different circumstances because our
Mhm.
contexts are completely different. But in some Latin American troubles, we have the same base.
Yeah.
So I want if you maybe um, remember some issue related with human rights, nature, environment, protection, government,
Yeah.
and if maybe you can give to me an example.
Okay. As as we share the Amazon with Brazil, we also have indigenous people in the forest that has been affected with all mining sectors, and also we have a case for illegal production of cacao that people in the forest. I don't remember in which region exactly. It was maybe Ucayali or Loreto, between there. Um, and they were very affected because of all the chemicals in the fields that was it's supposed that was protected for them, and also as a national reservoir, reserve of for our country. And they it was a case that it was also in the constitutional tribunal, and it, at least by now, it doesn't have a solution, because these indigenous people also have these invasions for productions, for illegal productions. So as you said, we have the same troubles.
Yeah. If you belongs to one of these companies, or for example, you um, figure out, because maybe for destiny or for any circumstance you are giving the consulting or all the legal advice to one huge company related. We can imagine livestock market. We can talk about soy plantations or
Mm-hmm.
some oil producers, and your principal base of economy belongs to a sector where you can find indigenous people. We will imagine that all the oil that you need is just in that land. And having this in mind as a human rights defender, but also as a consulting, like a private consulting,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of suggestions you can give them?
Well, it's interesting how to balance this social responsibility of the company and then defend human rights. Well, it's for me. It's I don't know. I don't know how to balance this because I'm so into
Yeah,
defend these
because
indigenous people and
yeah,
well,
but imagine that the ones that are paying you for your advice is the
yeah.
company.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, to be honest, it would be so easy to to have these contracts with the state, these public contracts, because here we have a lot of cases that you manage this, you have this environmental impact studies, and it's so easy and the process is so fast. And then when the people already know, because you need some documents that are public, so when people, society in general knows these cases, they start to be more involved in the indigenous people's rights. As a consultant, I could manage or try to communicate more with the people. I mean, we're not here to like deforestate your fields, your lands.
land.
We're here to produce. We want you also to work for us. We want you to develop these some strategies that both parties could develop better, or maybe they can start studying or working for us some benefits that maybe the community will be interesting, but also protecting the land. Because now with these new technologies, maybe we can invest more, but we can stay there for more ages, like 50 ages there, and then 50 years there, and then we can like develop with the community, with that indigenous people. So it's like negotiate and have this interest to preserve also their culture and their lands.
Okay. And what about, we will imagine that we have gold, and you know that the extraction needs,
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah,
yeah, but especially water.
yeah, it contaminates a lot.
So, how you can the same structure, the same case, but
Mm-hmm.
now we are talking about gold. So, how do you manage it? Imagine that you are um, I don't know, the boss of all the legal sector in that company, or the boss of all the legal department, and you will take decisions on it.
Yeah.
Of course, that finish the project is not an option because they are paying you.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things you can create for solve this situation, or what do you
Maybe
suggest them?
create a like I don't know if it's a project or a program of the company to
Mhm.
um like I don't know if it's clean the water or maintain as much as we can this contamination, or maybe if we need water, we cannot take it from their rivers, but also we have this kind of technology of some fabrics that contains the water, so we can do it like naturally, like that. So in some regions in Peru, they don't have water. They use these fabrics to have water. So we can use the same technology or maybe some other technologies to try to balance this contamination
Okay.
in the sea.
Okay.
So,
Nice. Seeing the reality right now, we will go back a little bit to the Brazilian case.
mhm,
Seeing this stuff that we are completely against to the system. We cannot um, like fight alone
mhm,
because we are a society. So we will imagine that we are Brazilian, but basically it's the same. We have just other faces, some power, but the history is the same. What do
mhm,
you think that is the paper of the lawyers in these kind of issues?
okay. Mm, I will be, well, we have like the lawyers from the government and from the city in general, society in general. I will say that the role from the state lawyers will be have more ethical, because we're not here just to like protect some personal interests from the governments right now, from the huge companies in our country. We're here to protect the whole nation. I would say that, like a suggestion, like be more ethical, more moral, protect your people. From people in our society, like people that is also in private sectors or in general, I will say that we could be more involved in trying to explain others that are not like lawyers that the system can change, or maybe the people there that is doing this I don't know, the people from that accept these projects, or maybe
Right.
you
Sorry,
cannot hear me.
I can't, no, I cannot listen.
Oh,
I am trying to move a little bit my computer for get like closer to the Wi-Fi, but I
yeah.
guess that didn't work again. So answer again because I cannot listen.
Okay, I have like a suggestion first from the lawyers that are from the government, that you're defending the whole nation, not only some interest from the huge companies or people that is involved in politics. And as lawyers in the society in general, we also can um, support some new laws, maybe, or some new projects that are balancing this environment and economy, because it is it is possible. So, and also we can, uh, of course, as the lawyers, we can explain how in every aspect how it's gonna impact in our nation, our economy, in our laws, in environmental laws. We can improve it, or we can work with NGOs and some associations that are interested in enterprises, but also to protect the environment, because they are. I know in Brazil they are. In Peru, it's getting better. So it's a solution, and it could be an effective solution.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for your opinion.
Thank
I
you.
will please ask you that you fill the survey now. And oh, I hope don't. I hope God be careful.
Oh.
Not just because I just take a shower and I get that
Oh.
was so cold. I want to imagine that. So I will see you tomorrow in our lesson.
Oh.
Thank you so much for
Um.
your time?
Yeah,
You cannot.
about that. Yeah, I can't because this time I couldn't choose my courses and everything. So tomorrow
Okay.
I can't. I mean,
Okay.
this Tuesday and the next one I can't. I'm sorry.
Okay. The next one is the last one.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
I guess we are so close to finish. But the things that we can do is you please get updated
Yeah,
with the
after
YouTube
the.
channel,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will see you like in the speaking call of the Wednesday, I guess that we get.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
yeah, no worries, no worries. The important thing is that you
Yeah.
see the information that we will see tomorrow, and yeah, that's it. No worries at all.
Thank you,
Okay.
Gali. Bye.
Okay. Thanks to
See
you.
you.
Bye bye. See you. Maria, good night. How are you?
Hi, Gali. I'm doing good.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So the first thing that we will talk in this article, like kind of discussion, I want that you tell me like three important points of view. In which part of the article do you find like really interesting? Which part do you find like some controversial issues? And what part was not interesting at all for you as a reader, but also as a lawyer? What do you think that is the three key opinions, but from these three different points of view? That are you supporting, that you are completely against, and what part is so controversial?
Well, first of all, I think it was about the part that it talk about indigenous rights and indigenous communities, and the Brazilian government that is not supporting them at all. Um, in this case, I think the President Bolsonaro is like, inside of helping them, he is like saying that the guilty ones are the I forget the organizations that defend the rights of these communities. Also, the fires there, how these fires have affected this part of the Amazon, and also how important is the Amazon for that ecosystem, because it's the one of the biggest forests that we have, and how the rain forest is helpful, and also the fires that matters here, because obviously some a fire in this kind of place with a lot of trees there, and as it is a forest, can affect the whole Amazon. um well, the part that I didn't like a lot, I think I think I found it pretty interesting. There was no part that I could say, oh, I didn't like that part or I'm against it. I think all the information here has been valuable.
Okay, so you didn't find a part, one controversial part, or that you being against.
Not at all. No, I
Okay,
think no.
perfect. Okay, the other case that I want to propose you is we will imagine that we are in Brazil and we are in this context. And for some reason, you are the legal advisor of a huge company that works with livestock markets, right? And they need to balance these rights, like the rights of indigenous communities and for nature and everything, but also you are there for advise them following their economics and following all the um, goals that needs to take the company, right? So from your point of view and from your legal point of view, what do you think that you can suggest them for put the balance in the right place?
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty interesting question, because every action that we do, it's going to affect the environment. There is no action that is not going to affect the environment. Since you
Mhm.
walk outside, or I don't know, you breathe, you are going to affect the environment. So I think there have been some radical positions where the people say, yes, don't do it because it is going to affect the environment. But every action is affecting the environment, but we need to take care about the actions that are more are more like uh, dangerous to people and also to the environment. In this case, first of all, it's going to depend on the company. In what about what kind of actions or what kind of things this company is doing, what it's their products or the things that they are doing now. For example, as it is, I don't know, um, a company that is working with minerals. Um, how is going to that is going how's that going to affect the environment? First of all, we need to look at the laws of that place of that country. For example, in my country, we have some regulations here that you need to follow if you want to work in this kind of in this kind of activities. Obviously they have some like investigations and studies that you need to follow, so you don't just forget about the standard that they ask for. First of all, follow that, and also try to introduce maybe some of these communities or as your friends, not as your enemies. It's like work also with them, try to I think there is a word in Spanish that I'm not pretty sure how to say it in English, but it's called well, responsabilidad social empresarial, but it's responsibility, social
Social
responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah, social responsibility of the companies, that we also talk about it
Mm-hmm.
in well, uh, companies. Uh, we also need to follow this, not because we want the other people to see us like a good company, because also it's going to be helpful for others. So we can work also with these communities, help these communities, and it's going to maybe some of the profits that we have, give them to these communities, not all of them, but maybe create some programs into our company to help also these communities.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. That is a really interesting point of view. Do you think that you have these kind of issues in Peru? And if the answer is yes, can you please explain to me the most closest one that get related, of course, with human rights and indigenous communities, if you want, livestock or some product like that by studies you can figure out that are really affecting like all the extraction and etc. And explain to me a little bit about it.
Mm, I think we have a lot of cases, but in this moment, I remember one case that one of my teachers told me. This teacher
Mm-hmm.
works with, mineral companies or something like that,
Yeah,
and
extraction.
extraction industry.
Mm-hmm.
And he told us that one time, um, I don't know how to say, silencio administrativo positivo. It's kind of strange.
You can say no, you can say like administrative silence.
Administrative, say yes, that right? Okay.
Then you can put it as positive or negative.
Yes, it's like yeah, okay. Um, well, in his day-to-day duties, he found one case that said that you need a study for 2 months, sorry, for 2 years to open one of these companies, and this company told him, I need to open in 6 months. So I don't know what are you going to do, but you need to open we need to open in 6 months. So what he did, it was very, I don't want to say it is stupid, but he actually worked with another study that it was not like the 2 years study, it was a 3 months study, and he presented to the authority in Peru. And the administrative silence was like all the days that they give to us, sorry, all the days that we give to them to respond our request, they didn't respond, and the administrative silent, oh, there was it was there. So um well, they approve it. Then he sent a card to the authorities to approve it because they didn't respond and they couldn't do nothing. So in something that it was going to last 2 years, he did it in 3 months. So I think it is part. Yes, when we could talk about ethics here or something like that, but
Yeah.
we also need to think about how the authority is like working here. They are not
Mm-hmm.
responding, they are not doing nothing, they are not I know they have a lot of duties, a lot of things to do, not only this case, but we have a lot of cases like this where the authority didn't respond and the administrative silence just came in.
What is the paper of the lawyers in this kind of issues? What do you think that can change if some legal advisors are more connected with this kind of behaviors?
It's, honestly, I don't know. It's like we need to work in the system, in the government,
Mm-hmm.
in the state, to try to avoid this. Um, I think it's like giving the people who is working in the government um, some tools, some things or some classes to do them work better. Because I think he also told us that because of the matter of this problem, there was also another figure that the government could use to avoid this project, but they didn't do it. He knew it. He knew it that this was possible. He knew it that in spite of the administrative silence that came into this case, there was another way just to avoid it because it was not really good at all. But the people who were working in the government didn't do it. Maybe because they didn't know. So we need to teach our our the government's workers more sorry, deeper in this kind of topics.
Okay, so do you think there is an education issue?
Yes.
Do you think that the corruption takes some part of this,
Yes,
or not
obviously.
really?
No, obviously. I don't know, honestly. I don't know if this teacher has been, like giving some money or so. I don't know. Maybe no, because this kind of teacher, well, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know him very well, but it's very known here in Peru, and he's very known because he does his work very effective or something like that. I don't know if
Yeah.
he gave some money to this
But that is part from a good lawyering, right? Like from see how can I do for represent their interests, but also how I will find this key part on the law that I will take advantage of. And we do it, of course, from all laws. That happens also in criminal law or in human rights law. Is our work to find the article, the paragraph, the little word that I will take and that I will suggest all my opinion, standard argument, debate, issue from that word, right?
Yes.
So,
So he's like that. Well, all people here in my university thinks in him in like a good lawyer, like an effective one. Mm, I didn't think he gave some money to the workers, but corruption, yes, always takes part in that. I've worked for a company. I'm
yeah,
not going to say which company, but I've
and
worked for.
especially with these environmental issues.
Yes. I've worked with a company
Yeah.
that it was related to medicine, but this company paid
Mm-hmm.
paid a lot just to open hospitals and that. They didn't have the standards, but they paid it for it. I wasn't related to that. There are some decisions that are not like in your hands. If that were in my hands, obviously I didn't do that. It was more about the manager of the company, but they did that hundreds of times. And yes, obviously
Okay.
corruption always takes part of
Yes, I
it.
can imagine. Yeah, sure. I can imagine. Okay, Maria, thank you so much for your time. Before you leave, I will ask you that please fill the survey. And thank you so much for sharing. That is really interesting. And
And Dali,
it's
I think
also important how can I listen this opinions and experiences.
Gali, Silvana, I think Silvana already told you, but I have the same problem as her. So this week we are going to start our
Yeah.
classes at the university, and I think we have different schedules. So, uh,
Okay.
yes, tomorrow I'm not able to come to classes as well.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. The idea is that you please update yourself with the recording on YouTube, and then I will talk about the topic on Wednesday in our speaking call.
Okay.
So maybe the Wednesday morning you can see the video or listen if you are working, Gabriela, just listen, Gali, talk. And yeah, we are so close to finish this course. So
Yes,
yeah,
1 week.
thank you. Yeah, a little bit more, like 10 days or something. Yeah, 11 days. We finish on 19.
Yes.
19?
And
I
yeah,
see 17 in the.
Yes. Next
What?
Monday. Next Monday. Yeah.
No,
oh
next.
my God.
Yes, no, Saturday? No, Wednesday, the next Wednesday.
I think it was
I
Monday.
was I was so sure that was on 19, but I didn't discuss it. I just was secure. Give me a second. Um, 1 second. Okay, how everything changed. Now I have less time for all the things that I need. Okay, so we have March.
I've also
Yes,
sent you
you
my
are
homework
right.
yesterday,
El
so
17, el 17. My God, bueno, gracias a Dios lo vi ahorita porque ya hace falta coordinar un par de cositas y terminamos. Bueno, perfecto.
thank you,
Gracias,
Gali.
gracias a Dios lo vi porque ya mañana las voy a coger. Bueno, con mayor razón, las espero viendo ese video y nos vemos en nuestra próxima speaking call. Bueno,
Gracias,
nos
Gali.
falta
Chao,
temita. Gracias, chao, chao.
chao.
Gabriela. Okay,
Hi,
so hi, hello. How is everything going?
I have become crazy now. Classes, work.
You paint your hair.
Yes, I am blondie now.
I like it. I got it blondie and red, really dark, like, I don't know, I don't have nothing red now. Bueno, I had like a really, really red hair, and it's always so nice to see how everything changed, like with your hair, and looks so good on you, and you have makeup on also.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Yes.
That is really important that you feel like
Today has
sexy and powerful.
a meeting at work,
Mm-hmm.
and my face is yeah, and I sleep.
Okay, I had a work meeting. That is just a little change there. I had a work meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we will discuss about this article. I want that you tell me what was your favorite part. I want that you explain me what part did you find really controversial, and also with maybe at some part of the article, did you find like completely against it?
So I want that point. I like all the article because it's interesting. It mentioned a lot of indigenous people, indigenous people,
Indigenous.
indigenous
Indigenous.
people,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
these people is a important part in the Amazonian. Porque it's not only Brazil, no, Amazonian is for Peru also in the. So it's the most interesting, the guardians of the forest under threat, something like that is the title and the part of the mention that the fight always have these people for defense their lands. So I think that the fight of everyone people, it's a, how do I say Valentia? I don't remember the name.
Brave. Brave.
Brave. Had
They are brave.
They are
Ellos son valientes, fuertes.
Yes, they have a lot of brave. So I
No,
like
they
that.
are like they don't have, they are. It's like description.
Yes,
Ellos son.
see, because it's a adjective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like this part. Controversial, maybe when mentioning a government, because I think every government had a little corruption.
A little,
And
or maybe
too
a
much.
huge.
Yeah, in more in Latin America, So, I the government never stay for the poor people for in everyone. It that mentioned in the indigenous people. Never have um a support of the government. For example, mentioning about COVID, for say 3 times more now. Now in the past, no, okay, the diet is 3 times more than in the past. Against the part I don't like too much maybe is the same part, the government in the government don't take care about the lands. Many times the same government uh, supports the companies in the industrial companies.
Yes, like private sector, you can say also that.
Yes, like
They support, like the government support the private sector.
yeah, support more and not the people to have been fighting every time for for their lands.
Okay,
And that's all
perfect.
I read. So
Okay. Now we will imagine that you are the advisor, the legal advisor of one of these companies that work like with livestock market in Brazil, right? That you need to advise them for continue doing their businesses. So please tell me what kind of advice or what kind of suggestions you can give them for find a balance between economy sector and try to do it like rentable for them, but also don't affect so hard the environment and indigenous communities. So give me some ideas and I want to listen to your point of view.
mm, maybe if the private companies pollute the land or maybe use the forest for any activity, uh, it's necessary to clean, uh, maybe because in in the case I will we talk on Friday and have the problem. It's about for example, a private company here um, has a leak, uh, I don't, a mercurial leak So,
Mercury, ¿ya?
mercury leak,
¿Qué quieres decir leak? ¿Qué significa leak?
derrame,
Ah, ya, ya.
leak, derrame,
Mercury. Ujú.
leak mercury. So, they clean, o sea, the street that they contaminate, they clean it. So,
Yeah.
so
But
clean it and
actually, in this kind
construction.
of accidents, yes,
Not
you
exactly
can
accident
just
because many
not
people.
not 100% is done, right? They can do the best effort, but always come of these chemicals will start always on nature or whatever that be. This is not their place. You will always have consequences, even when the company try to clean it or try to fix it. Not always works.
Yeah, but it's a maybe more stay here to say because the companies has a many or liberty to if I um how to say
Okay.
if they spoil, maybe it's okay, other maybe can be fixed or something like that, but I think is the government is more strict with the limits and everyone, but how say government support there to do that, so they don't have a, a limit to don't spoil the lands.
Okay. Do you think that in your country you have the same context that Brazil or not really?
What?
Like, if we are going from the point of view of this article, do you think that Peru has the same troubles that Brazil and why?
Have that the same problems if
Mm-hmm. Like with environmental issues.
yes, I mentioned it in the past. Minery is the principal activity here in Peru, so they have problems with the gold in the Amazonian in Peru.
The
They
Amazon, in the Amazon.
Amazon. They
Mm-hmm.
they wash the gold for
Mm-hmm. The
uh,
clean.
they clean the gold in rivers in here in the Amazon of Peru, and they contaminate the water of the river when they clean the gold. So they have the same problems.
Yeah, same in Colombia. They do the same. And especially the illegal extractions are worst with nature. In these
Yes,
kind of
the
issues
legal
are terrible. The consequences you cannot fix it, even when you want to invest a lot of money for try
uh,
to
they
fix it.
must be to use a special uniform, but they don't. They without any protection, have a direct contact with the gold. So the the
Okay.
chemicals,
A direct, they have a direct contact with, not directly,
direct
direct, direct contact. Okay, Gabriela, thank you so much for your time and also for reminding me the dates because I don't know why I was so secure about 19.
Yes, yeah, because now I have work, university. I say, oh, I don't have too much time, and so I review if more in my. I
Yeah,
say,
it's
no,
like
1 week more.
1 week and a half when we are done.
Yes, well, is to speaking call. Gali, ¿hasta cuándo puedo enviarte el informe?
¿Estás muy atareada con tus cosas?
Un poquito, pero, o sea, igual
¿Para
tengo que,
cuándo
o sea, yo
resultaría
estoy a la
bien?
mitad, más o menos.
Ok, ¿para cuándo resultaría bien para ti?
Para, para mañana.
Sí,
Está
cuando
bien.
tú
O sea,
puedas,
porque yo
pero
voy
si
en la
ves,
mitad,
sí, si ves que es para mañana, para pasado mañana, yo te súper entiendo, eso no va a afectar en nada. También pasé por
gracias.
trabajo, estudio, relaciones, amigos, novio, no se puede.
Menos mal
Quiero
estamos en
conservar la paz mental.
Thank you, Gali.
Entonces, no te preocupes, no te preocupes. Si ves que para mañana está bien, mándamelo mañana. Si ves que puede ser para pasado mañana, envíamelo y tranquila, tú tranquila.
Thank you, Gali.
No te preocupes.
Bye.
¿Listo? Adiós. Que estés bien. Ay, espera, no te desconectes. La encuesta.
Cuando
Ya
entré,
está hecha.
sí.
Ya la vi. Gracias,
Bye.
adiós. Chao, chao. Crisia, hello, how are you?
Hi.
How is everything going? Are you tired?
Yes. Today
What time is there?
I have classes.
Oh, yes. What time is there? Because I see a lot of light.
5:46 p.m.
Oh, nice. Here is 7:46. Oh, no. Here, like, everything is so dark already. Okay, Crisia, I want that you please explain to me the most important issues that you find in this article. What parts do you find like really interesting? What was interesting for you? What was controversial? Or maybe you are not agree with some part of the article. And after that, I will continue doing some questions.
Okay, I think that the part of the say that the government permit or do the the forest in,
Yeah.
in the in the Brazil. I think that is controversial because uh, any person think that the government of the state want to damage the forest, the trees and
The trees,
and the
trees.
trees, sorry, and
Mhm.
damage the indigenous people. For me, I think that is the controversial, the more controversial. And I don't know that I think that uh, is something that pass in a lot of places in the world. For example, here pass, and I imagine that the other countries pass too. And it's difficult for the indigenous people that they can care or
Mhm.
care the
They
the
can't take care or protect.
protect the place and the state or the government damage is very I am angry. Si yo fuera yo me molestara.
Yeah. Okay, this situation makes you angry. Do you think that in your country happens the same that in Brazil?
I think that yes.
Why?
Maybe not the forest, but the keep a place for the indigenous people or damage to some time to some places. Yes.
Okay. Do you know some specific legal case that like you can get the same behavior from your government?
Mm,
Because as you can see, and yeah, I know, I'm so sure that you know this case in Brazil, the government and the private sector are so interested in the results of the land. They are so interested and they put a lot of effort for take the lands, for change it, for make them richest with all the productions in some spaces.
in El Salvador, that don't put fire for the trees, but just cut the trees. And the government or empresarios,
Entrepreneurs or
sorry,
investors. Entrepreneurs.
investors.
En-
And the investors,
¿Quieres que te lo escriba? Así es
por
más
favor,
fácil.
sí, te lo agradecería.
Continúa.
And the investors cut the trees and for put the business the work de no sé cómo sería la empresa, se podría decir,
Factory.
the
Mira,
factory.
parte porque vamos creando varias cosas. Entrepreneur, investors. You can also say the private sector. Ah. Empresarios, emprendedores, investores o el sector privado. ¿Y cómo dijiste? Como factory. ¿Cuál fue la palabra?
Como
¿Empresa?
la empresa,
¿Fábrica?
sí, o sea, el lugar, ajá.
Ok. Como una fábrica sería como factory. But if you are talking about como empresa, the best way to say it is business.
Okay.
The business.
And put the business.
Yeah.
Here.
Or makes that the business works.
Mhm. And it for me is bad that don't respect the the place for the other people, because the people say that here don't have a dueño o no sé, salud,
Owner.
owner,
Gracias. Owner.
owner. And just the person think that I can put my business here. I don't care that thing the people the displays of this.
Okay. Do you remember at what time did we start with our speaking call? I need to check it. Was at 45?
So yes,
Yes, okay. We have 7 minutes more. Okay. Do you think that what is the paper of the lawyers for help to control these kinds of behaviors?
um, I think that protect the for example in the article, protect the person that live uh, in this place of cerca de esos lugares,
Close,
pues
close to these
close,
places.
close to these places, and
But
this try
protected
to
how? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo crees que sea el mecanismo para proteger o el mecanismo de protección? ¿Qué deberían hacer los abogados?
siento que como I think that is important to respect that, bueno, ya le quitaron, por ejemplo, una gran parte, digamos, ahí en el artículo de terreno que los indígenas cuidaron. Y aunque sea,
Ok. En inglés, vamos lentico, vamos construyendo.
okay,
So, as you can see it in the article, the private sector takes a lot of the lands that the indigenous people are taking care of, right? I know that is complex because it's just the order of the words, but no worries, you can make it simple. Gali, did you see it in the articles, or as you see it in the article, the private sector takes the lands of indigenous communities?
and I think that the lawyer um, com protect to don't hit the other part of
Okay.
the
Okay. The paper of the lawyer is protect than they didn't take the other part of the land, or that they don't take the other part of the land, or the complete land. Mhm.
and
And do you feel, or do you have feelings with this area of law? Like at some point of your life, do you like to work with these kind of things?
yes, I want to work this.
Okay, that is really cute and nice. And it's important that from the beginning you start not to decide what do you want to do by the end of your career, but just start to see how the law can make you so powerful to change your reality depending on your contexts. And it's not necessary that you find a huge issue in the Amazon or in the ocean. No, you can start to change some political aspects in your little community, in your little neighborhood. So we are having troubles with wastes. Wastes es como con basuras. How we can manage that? How maybe we can start to recycle? That is part of the change, but that needs to be supported with your studies. Now, like, how can I create a law, a decision, an order that helps to the government to control these kind of things, right? So always it's important to read some of these things and start to analyze them from an objective point of view, right? What subjects are you seeing right now in your
Eh,
in
la
your
introducción
semester?
al derecho,
Mhm,
derecho humano,
mhm.
derecho constitucional uno y expresión y redacción escrita.
Okay, just 4 subjects.
Yes.
Okay, and what is your favorite one?
I think that derecho romano.
Okay, ¿por qué?
Because it's the history,
Mhm.
how start the law. And
Okay.
I,
Remember me please the subject. Constitutional one, or yeah, like constitutional law, um, Roman law, expressions and redaction and expressions, and what more?
mhm. Introducción al derecho,
Okay,
introducción al derecho.
introduction to the law. Okay, okay, that is so important. It's also important that you start to push yourself to produce or to put your ideas on paper, everything that you create, even when you are talking about yourself or something that's happening to you. Always, it's not just how to read, it's also how to write. Okay. Crisia, please, before you go, I will ask you that you fill the survey and I will see you tomorrow.
Gali, yo te quería preguntar también que cuándo te podía enviar lo del documento, porque este fin de semana estuve haciendo, bueno, estos días he estado haciendo unos mandados con mi papi y me ha tocado bien
Tranquila,
pesado.
tranquila. Hazlo para cuando tengas tiempo, en la medida de las posibilidades, antes de terminar esta semana, porque la otra semana ya me toca ponerme a sacar notas y entregar el curso. Entonces, no te voy a decir, ya no duermas, hoy lo tienes que mandar. No, te voy a pedir el favor, seas condescendiente, pero tampoco que sea un estrés para ti sentarte a escribir, porque si genera un estrés no tiene sentido hacer las cosas. Así que tranquila, tómate tu tiempo y te agradecería en la medida de lo posible que fuera antes del viernes para facilitar mi proceso, mi corrección, para poder hacer un feedback y bueno, para poder colocarlo en las notas especialmente también. ¿Listo?
Ok,
Antes de que te vayas,
gracias.
entonces te voy a encargar que llenes la encuesta. Ah, ya la llenaron. Ya las veo,
Ya.
las controlo.
Sí.
Ok, muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo. Te veo mañana, que descanses.
Gracias.
Adiós. Ana María, you arrived before.
Hi, Ali, how are you?
I am fine. How are your vacations? Where are you?
I'm at my house right now. I had a little
What
accident, but
happened?
I'm fine.
Yeah, what happened? I can see it in your face.
Can you
Oh
watch it
my
right there?
gosh. Yeah, what
Yeah.
happened?
I had a little orzuelo in my eye,
Ah,
but
yeah.
something happens and they get me a allergic reaction. So today my face was like a balloon, but I'm doing good right now.
Okay, but hurts you?
Huh?
Hurts? ¿Te
A
duele?
lot. Yes.
Espérame, esto es receta de la abuela. Tú estás en tu casa, ¿no?
Sí.
Bueno, coge mucha manzanilla. Yo cuando era niña sufría muchísimo de orzuelos. Cuando era niña, mi abuela lo solucionaba así. Coge mucha manzanilla, lávala, una lavadita rápida y métela en agua súper caliente y déjala, pero es mucha manzanilla, o sea, compra harta. Y déjala que hierva y luego toda esa agüita coge algodón y lo más caliente que lo aguantes, mete el algodón y lo más caliente que te aguantes, colócalo en el ojo. A mí en 2 o 3 días mi orzuelo, que eran horribles, o sea, eso no es nada, mis orzuelos eran terribles. Un orzuelo me lo querían operar, ya no iba a quedar, estaba comprometiendo mi ojo, y mi abuela le dijo a la médica que, que les dieran una semana y que si no, que me operaban, porque, bueno, aparte que iba a quedar con la cicatriz, mi ojo estaba comprometido. O sea, imagínate el nivel de
Claro.
infección. Y
Sí.
mi abuela lo arregló. Y a partir de ahí me salen algunos, porque la verdad no conozco muy bien la razón. Yo cada vez que tengo como mucho contacto con perros o algo así, boom, los
Se
tengo.
te hace. Oh,
Y
wow.
así los hago, así los soluciono. Entonces, ahorita en la noche, mañana temprano, mucha manzanilla y lo más caliente, tibio, déjalo a esta que se enfríe. Importantísimo, no cambies de ojo y cambia. Ese algodón se bota. Siguiente. Hasta que más resistas. Y cuantas veces lo hagas, mejor va a ser. Y te recalma todo. Tú sabes que es un
Sí,
detox
porque
natural.
sí, me puse neomicina y fue lo peor que pude haber hecho porque literal me inflé, o sea, como que se me infló la mitad de la cara y
Sí, se
tuve
te
que ir al
ve.
médico, porque no podía ni siquiera ver, entonces fue como, corro al médico a ver qué le mandan y todo, y estoy encerradita en mi casa de aquí al jueves, porque ni siquiera puedo
Lo
encender la
siento
computadora, no
mucho.
puedo ver luz así muy fuerte ni nada.
No, si
Por-
quieres, entonces hacemos la sesión mañana, otro día que te
No,
sientas mejor.
tranquila. No,
No,
yo me leí el artículo y todo, y de hecho le dije a ella que si había algún problema con el Zoom y me dijo que no, que podía hacerlo. Lo que no les gusta es que estén
no
mucho
quiero,
tiempo.
no quiero trabajar así.
Yugali.
Mentiras. No, eso es lo que muchas veces no dimensionamos la influencia que los aparatos electrónicos tienen en nuestro cuerpo cuando estamos bien. Pero cuando estamos mal es peor porque está súper sensible y esto no es algo de vida o muerte. Podemos reprogramar la speaking call para la próxima semana cuando te sientas mejor. Una vez en esos días no quieres saber de nada, o sea, te reentiendo. Si quieres cortar ahorita, no te preocupes y la hacemos más
No,
adelante. ¿La quieres
no,
hacer?
yo feliz, no, feliz de hacerla, la verdad. Lo que sí te
Bueno.
iba a decir es que si me podías dar un chancecito al jueves para enviarte lo escrito.
Tranquila, a la otra semana, cuando puedas, no pasa nada. Yo
Sí,
lo
es
voy a
que
tener presente de que lo vas a hacer. Y me siento muy triste que hayan terminado tus vacaciones así. No, qué gracia.
sí, fue súper triste y fue como venía en la microbús así como toda triste y deprimida.
Okay, but no worries. Every situation in our lives teach you and teach us something. We need to try to balance all this movement and try to understand why the things happens and give time to your body to recover it
Yes.
and to feel better. Sometimes some feelings that we didn't know how to put out get reflection, get a
Totally.
reflection or get reflected in our body. So we need to take um, take it easy and give us time to recover yourselves.
Yes.
Okay, so moving a little bit about our topic tonight. I
Yes.
want that you please let me know your opinion about the article. What was your favorite part? What part did you find quite controversial? And it maybe at the conclusion, you can realize that maybe with some part of the article you are not agree with, because all people, we all have different points of view. So tell me, I am waiting and then I will do other questions.
Okay. First of all, I have no idea that the fires in the Amazons were that bad, and they talk about other two places that were having fires, and it get me like really worried because I didn't know that was happening. I think in part it's my fault because I didn't get that much information when I had to, but that makes me a little bit. And the thing I found most controversial about it is that the government doesn't care about the fires.
Mhm.
That they don't make anything to help, and the indigenous people is that one that is getting everything fixed in some kind of way. They are trying to make the best to preserve the forest and the Amazons, and they had to fight with dame un segundo, Gali.
Tranquila.
Sorry, my mom was calling me.
No worries.
Just
No worries.
okay, and I found that two things like really shocking
Mhm.
because it's the government responsibility to take care of their land, and they don't care about it. It's
Yeah.
like it's not my issue, it's not my problem. They are not my people. They can die, and they have to really fight with a lot of stuff. And when they are fighting for the forest and the Amazons, they have to fight COVID too. So it's like super bombing. I don't know. It's like they had to
And
fight with all stuff.
do you think that in your country, do you have these kind of issues? Of course, with different actors, but do you think that the contexts can be similar in your country, and why?
It can apply. Maybe I think that the government can handle the situation and they are offering to,
Mhm.
but in our case, maybe I'm talking about the central government, not the
Yeah.
regional ones,
Okay.
because I don't know how I can tell you this. The governor of Nicoya, I don't know, is selling land that belongs to the state and is a preserve area, and they sell it for a hotel, or they are selling their water for hotels and all that stuff. And I think when the government, the central government realized that, they start moving about it. But
Yeah.
just an example. And maybe the problem is the people in that part of the country, because they want, I don't know, to have, no, I don't know, maybe develop a economic part in the land or something like that. But they don't realize that the biggest problem is to affect that areas, because we are losing like a lot of things. And I thought about it when I read the part in the article that says that the losing of this part of the Amazon affects everyone, because we are losing part of the health. I think the thing that captures my attention was that we're losing health, we are losing biodiversity, and we are losing the opportunity to change. the climate problems that we're having right now. And these little things that happen in my country, that's, like I said, I think that all together can make the problem worse. So I think it's happening in a lot of parts of Latin America, and it's kind of sad too.
Yeah. Something so important that we need to keep in our minds is like we always will find a fight against like the private sector or private interest with basically population, right? So we will imagine that not in Brazil, we will imagine that in Costa Rica, you are the consultant because of life, you are the consultant of one of these huge company, like the legal advisor of them. And you need to give them or propose them a solution trying to don't affect the indigenous people interest or the environment. What kind of first, like what kind of behavior you can suggest them, but also what kind of strategy maybe you can design for didn't affect them too much and put the balance here. Because always when we're trying to, for example, with extraction, the business can only exist if I am doing this.
Yeah.
Happens the same with all the plantations. Maybe less because it's a natural process, but the most of the time they use some products that affect really hard the environment. So if I take your example, like the hotels are taking the water in my country because it's something that you are related with, not the fire in Brazil, I am putting the water in Costa Rica. So how do you balance this private interest with the affectation to the environment and to the other population? And basically all, because you know that we have a lot of salt water, but
Yeah.
we can't do nothing with that. So I want to listen.
I maybe in the
Mhm.
water case that you told me, maybe
Mhm.
they can promote the, how I say, potable,
Potable,
drinkable, okay,
drinkable,
potable water,
but also
okay,
potable.
potable water,
Yeah.
yes, in the region, because if they are selling the water in this part of the countries, in the country, sorry, I said it in plural, is because they don't have the, the service there. So maybe if they promote the potable water in the region and they make a plant or something like that for the people, they can use it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a double benefit. And they don't look invasive in the space because the thing that they are doing is stalling the water, in my point of view. And
Okay.
maybe if they promote that kind of stuff, maybe it will be more, I don't know, uh, profitable, and maybe more, I don't know how to say, healthy for the region too.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do it with the parameters that the country, how I say this, that the country has, sorry, maybe it works because we are giving the people the things they need, the water, they are having it too, and in a sustainable way, and maybe that's, for me, would be a good balance.
Okay. Thank you so much for your opinion. We are really close to close. We are really close to close. We are really close to finish with our course. So I will see you soon. And take your time for send to me the paper. Take your time to recover it yourself. Get out of the technology. Get out of the phone and the computer because that will don't be helpful to your issue. And I hope
Totally.
that you feel better. Follow my grandma advice because always worked to me. And yeah, thank you so much for your effort to being here even when you are so sick. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gali. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks to you. Bye bye. Adios, adios.
Chaito.
Rafael, how are you? Good night.
Good evening, teacher.
How is everything going?
Um, Everything is fine, I think.
Okay,
It
nice.
was a busy day today. Today is the International Women's Day. So in
Yeah.
the work, women have free time.
Oh,
Yeah, and I,
and work
I,
for all of them.
yeah,
Okay, that is a really good idea. I like the idea of no works for women today.
today.
Okay, I want to ask you, what opinions do you have about the article, if you like it or not? And also, what was your favorite part? What part do you find so controversial? And with what part you are completely against? Or maybe you are not against? So I am listening.
Yeah, I'm not against anything in this article. I think it's a very clear text about all these situations that are happening in Brazil and in places like in lands like Amazonas. I don't
Amazon.
remember the
Amazon.
name. The Amazon and other that other place
Parts.
that uh, that the article thinks.
Okay. Do you think that Bolivia has the same troubles like with
Yeah,
environment that
yeah. Actually,
Brazil?
I I would prefer to don't talk a lot about the relationship between these fire. I don't remember the name. Hay una palabra que se usa para los fuegos provocados.
Like brush fires?
Mm, También hay otra palabra, justo lo usé para el artículo que escribí para nuestra tarea, pero ahorita se me ha ido. Es una sola palabra. Yeah, but
You can say like intentional fires. You can say one more. Déjame pensar, haber hecho resetear en el diccionario. Can remember. You can talk about
arson.
intentional fires. Tell me.
The word is arson.
Oh no, I didn't know that word. Can you please text it in the chat? It's obviously that I'm not reading your article yet because I am waiting that all the people send it. But no, I didn't know it. Arson, no idea.
Yeah, I just put uh, incendio provocado in the
Okay,
later, and it appeared.
okay, I didn't know it. Thank you so much. Okay,
Yeah, I
so but
think
that happens
Bolivia
here
have
in the Chiquitania.
Bolivia have a really controversial and long, very history about this phenomenon that in Bolivia we call chaqueo.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I really prefer don't talk a lot about that because in other speaking that we are going to do someday, uh,
It's the case
I'm
that
going
you
to talk
choose.
about
Yeah,
it's
yeah, no
the
worries. That
same thing
happens
and it
today a
could be a
lot.
problem talk 2 times about the same.
Okay, perfect. No, no
But
worries. I
Bolivia,
completely understand.
yeah,
Okay, we always know that this issue with environment is the private sector against some social interest. We can talk about water, lands, indigenous communities, contamination, etc. We will imagine that because of life you are a part of the legal advisor of a huge company that want to do whatever that you want to create in your mind. But for example, you are advising one extraction company from gold or silver, whatever that you want to work with. What kind of advice or what kind of behavior you can suggest them for didn't affect too much the rights of other people, but also the environment?
Well, at first, I think
As a lawyer, remember
we
that.
need to do a, a consult to the people that are living in that place.
Okay.
That it's very important, not just for the reason that it's like private, it's like private lands. It's
Mhm.
more like for example, indigenous people that have another cosmovision, another ideas about what is a land. For a lot of these people, this is not like a property. It's more like a big house. It's part of their identities.
Identity.
So it's very important that they know about what is happened and they decide about if it's possible to extract, in this case, some minerals of in a place. There are a lot of forces that are fighting when you choosing this type of things. There are the private interests, the state interests, and the people that are living interests. So it's very difficult
Yeah.
find a middle place between
Yes.
all these ideas.
Yeah, but
Maybe
always we have some lawyers in each part. Like from here until here in all the process of extraction, businesses, agriculture, economy. Always we haven't it, at some point we have a lawyer. So my question is like related with from which interpretation you can give them an advice, taking in account what things, like trying to give them some, I don't know, indemnization about the affectation or what?
well, maybe a good reference could be doing something like a contract with the state
Mhm.
and the state with all these people that are living there to give them an indemnization and and create the duty to try to the duty for the private part
Mhm.
to try to um, repair all the possible damage that are included in that.
Okay. What kind of solution do you think that as a lawyer we can apport of all these situations that we are having around South America? Because basically it's the same issue, the same trouble with different actors. What do you think that is the paper that we have as a lawyers in this field?
Well, I think that I really don't know a lot about environmental laws, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't have so much ideas about that. But I think as a lawyer, we need based or arguments in things like constitution of our states and the human rights about the good living and how all these buildings that are built in order to be progressed like a society could all these things could match the the life of a lot of people in all the country uh, think thinking but basically I, I I think we need to think a lot of how it affects all our countries, not just the people that are living in a near place of the problem. And that's the reason we need um, to see this in uh, signs the constitution and the human rights. I think.
Yeah. It's really hard because always we have opposite interests and you need to sacrifice some of them, and it's really hard to find a balance in these areas. But if you could like take a part of it, do you think that you are going like in the private sector? And be honest, this is not just a test. I want to know about your way of think. What part you can like support?
I don't know. I think all these things depend on the context. For example, if we are if we were I don't know 2000s years ago, I don't know, in the 18th century, I think we didn't have a lot of problems on uh, um, working for all these private uh, interests. That's because in that moment the planet was more I don't know, strong. We have a lot of places to work. We have a lot of things that to touch. But now we are in a time of crisis. I think we need to be more harder with the possibility to work with them. May I just think if I could uh, work with this type of private part. Just if I was very, I don't know, very poor in this moment, if I have the the I don't remember the needs. If I really need that,
Yeah. But
because
I really like your point of view
I,
because it's so honest. I guess that we always be related with these factors or actors. Um, we just need to find the way that don't belongs or be so harmful against the right that we are against it. Okay. I will read all your articles. Hopefully, for the next week, I will do the feedbacks. And we are so close to finish this course.
okay.
So I will see you tomorrow. We almost finished. I will see you tomorrow. And before you leave, I will please ask you that you fill the survey. I will see you soon and discuss about the word that you teach me today, arson, that I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I guess that answer, arson.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
I will do my research and learn it.
Okay.
Okay, Rafael, thank you so much for your time.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye. Laura, how are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you so much. How is everything going?
Good, good. I'm a little bit tired for yesterday, but everything's good now. I had a well-rested day in the most possible way today, so I'm a little bit better. You?
Okay, yeah, everything is going good. Thank you so much for asking. I have a really interesting topic for today. I want to listen your point of view and remember that, of course, take influence from your point of view as a lawyer, of course. So, you read the article?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I read it today.
Okay,
Um, well, I think you always have interesting stuff for us for our speaking call, so I thank you for that in the first place.
okay.
And yeah,
Thank you so
so
much.
it's no, yeah, I loved it. I love to be more aware of these things, like how it
Okay,
happened and why it's happening, and all the heartbreaking news that it comes with. So still
okay.
digesting it, I think. But it's
No
good to
worries.
know. It's good to be aware on a higher level, always to be a little bit more informed with this kind of things that are always going to matter in our lives because we all share a planet, and I think that's what these people are forgetting about, right? They
Yeah,
affect all of us, all the species. Like sooner or later, this is going to end. I feel like I always try to make a joke out of it, not this particular thing of the Amazon, but with all the natural disasters that are occurring, and more and more and more, and how the climate change is advancing, I think that the end is actually near. I have that belief. I don't think this is gonna last a lot more years if we keep on behaving like this as a race. If we keep
yeah,
on like acting like money is more important, we should know it's not that important at this point. We should, because of the pandemic, and learning that nothing is guaranteed, and we would have to put more value in all the species, all the places that we can live in, our resources, our natural resources. So it's kind of sad. I found some similar points with the Tibnis topic that I'm dealing with right now. All the fact that it's all moved by money, and destroying all the land to get like a benefit out of it, selfishness, vanity, and taking advantage of your power to oppress indigenous communities this way, because their rights are being oppressed. This is already a human rights thing, and that scares me too, because how are that people living?
yeah. I completely understand, and it's so valuable that you are doing these kind of reflections going from one of these articles. So I want that you please be more specific with the part that results more interesting for you, but also the part that you figure out that is so controversial.
Controversial, and in
Mhm.
what sense in particular, or in general?
No, like in controversial, just that you find like maybe that your opinion can result some different, because I know that I'm dealing with different people, and that
Yeah.
maybe the things that result so obvious for me, for other people not. So I want to listen your opinion.
Okay, what caught my attention in a special way was the part where they said, okay, so we are like destroying land to cultivate food, to feed what we are going to eat eventually, like the animals we're going to eat, because they are using this some of the fields for cattle. And
Mhm.
I have never seen myself as a vegan person, or even a vegetarian. I have always seen it like something that it's not going to happen for me. I am selfish in general, and I know this, but I am more close to this kind of thinking that moves this kind of people. And I'm starting to think, okay, when you really are eating this and you think it's normal, because everyone in your family does it, and all the people you know it's meat. But you realize the cruelty and the damage that it's doing to our biodiversity, and I started to think maybe eventually I will become a vegan, maybe. Because you can criticize, you can say, oh my god, the president of Brazil is so cruel and he just wants money and he doesn't care how the people in his country are living, not even the people that are living in the cities, because they are going to have a rough time too in the future if if they keep burning the forests that way. So that caught my
And
attention
it's
a
really
lot.
hard. Sorry that
Yeah,
I interrupted you.
yeah,
I
go
am in
ahead.
the process to be vegetarian.
Wow.
And it's really hard. It's really hard. It's more simple, like say that get the pants. Maybe if you work really hard to don't be around some people that eat meat and you do like a deep exercise will be easier. But when you have contact with the people that are consuming normal food and you are there, it's really really hard to skip it
Yeah, I imagine.
because
No,
your body needs it. It's really hard, but I am
no,
going
yeah, I
slowly.
imagine. I admire what you're doing a lot because in my house, and I'm sure that it's like a normal thing, like all the families here, almost every family does it. They love meat, and you grow up with this idea, with this kind of diet, and you get stuck to it, and it's like very hard living it up. But I think that like I was saying just before, I think it's very easy to criticize. I can come here and tell you, oh my god, these people, they just want money, they don't care the biodiversity and the people's rights, and they are being oppressed. Even that caught my attention too. I thought, oh my god, they are doing this everywhere, everywhere. It's like a common thing to put money before people, before animals, before the earth that we have, that it's just one. And it's pretty easy to say that. I can sit there and just complain about it with you all night long because it's heartbreaking. But I also think the change that we want starts with us, and it's pretty comfortable to stay here and just talk or write. I can give you my report, my paper, and tell you that it's pretty sad and whatever and this, but finding a way to help, finding a way to have a change starts with us. So one way or another, you know, you have the courage to start trying this vegetarian thing. I don't know if I will find that in me soon. I hope so.
Yeah,
But
but that is just one of the measures that we
yeah,
can
that is one
create.
thing we can do to help.
Yeah, I understand completely. Now I want to change a little bit, like like start to play in with different aspects. And
Okay.
the first one that I will suggest you tonight is we will imagine that you are the legal advisor of one of these livestock market company.
Okay.
And what kind of issues, what kind of suggestions, what kind of um, advice you can give them to create a balance between the private sector and nature, but of course from the point of view of a lawyer.
Yeah. Okay. We are like not talking about the rights of the communities, right? Or we are including them in this because there are people I think that live near or there, and it's not just the biodiversity because maybe it changes a little bit if the people are inhabiting that part of the fields or the jungle, or I don't know.
Mhm.
So
If you prefer like doing from the exercise that we get from the article, I am completely agree. But also if you want to put it in some private sector in Bolivia, I can give you some examples, right? You can be the lawyer of the company that now get the license of Cerro Rico in Potosí,
yeah,
and then what?
yeah, I remember that I told you, I don't know, when we started this agrarian law thing, that it must be very hard to find a balance that can give us some, I don't know, income and respecting the biodiversity and making sure that it doesn't suffer majorly, at least. So finding that balance, I would have to be assessed by biologists and all kinds of experts, I think, before I can give even an advice. So that would be the first thing I do. And it would be very hard to, I imagine, right, having this kind of client that wants you to help him or her get the most income they can when they have this permission. How do you deal with your client's ambition? That would be my
Mhm.
main preoccupation. I know it's not very oriented to law, but I think it's the first step. How do you deal with that? That would be like a major issue for me. And what can I advise them from that point? Like there's a limit. Maybe if they are in the same symphony that I am, that I want to respect the most that I can, the nature and the resources and everything, it would be easier to work with them.
Yeah.
Like having limits, maybe, I don't know, we can use this amount of how do you measure, I don't know if it's kilometers. I know that it's not like this in the US, but it's like this here, so I know you say kilometers, maybe hectareas, I don't know how you say that.
Hectares.
Yeah. So maybe like limiting the ability, no, the faculty you have to use this quantity, nor more nor less, with these measurements, and it would be more oriented to the environment, inevitably, I think, if I would even ever assess someone that has this kind of project going. Maybe if I knew more of the topic, I could give you a much more straight answer, like this measurement and this other one, and I don't know, but this is all so new for me. I didn't see this
Yeah.
when I was in school, and to be honest, the first time that I get so close to this kind of topic is because you are encouraging us to do it. That's why I'm
Mhm.
so thankful. But yeah, I think that I have these preoccupations if I would assess a
Yeah.
client that has.
But it's not actually from worried you and get stressed. It's just
No, no.
it's just an hypothetical case. We will imagine that the company are asking you like, yes, we need to go in this territory. So tell us how we can do it. Maybe how we can give some benefits to all the indigenous communities that of course we are going against them, but also
Oh,
how we can, or the example with Potosi, one suggestion if I be the lawyer, okay, we need, of course, that close the business is not possible, that is not possible,
okay.
but I am suggesting from the law, for example, from labor law, I will suggest them that all the workers get the best health system, because we know that
Okay,
the
okay.
first
I
thing that they
remember.
are sacrificing is their lives.
Yeah.
But moving from that, I want that the company from Switzerland, they planned $1,000 per dollar. Did you listen?
Yeah, yeah.
They planned 1,000 plants from I don't know, monthly, for try to
Okay.
balance this
Yeah, like
this
putting a
situation.
limit on
Other
how much they
example,
can.
like,
No, yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, like in Brazil, saying, okay, you are putting fires, but I want that you buy a land for these indigenous communities with really good
Okay. Okay.
situation, like really good water coming, with really I don't know how to say it, like with the space to produce all their um, yeah, like all the money can buy some things that can fix and can help different situations.
Yeah,
So
like to
all of this
compensate.
is just, of course, like, yeah, of course, this is like a topic land, but it's important to understand that by the base, we cannot just close the chapter and finish with the issue. It's different. right?
No, yeah, it's
So
like a way to compensate, you say, the damage that is
yeah,
being done because of this project, X
of
project.
course.
You can do something to help that
Sometimes,
can
yeah, sometimes
make it
that
better.
can be done with money.
Yeah,
Sometimes the
no
money
doubt.
is nothing.
Yeah, I
So
would
now
like
that I give
to.
you like, I put it more into words. Tell me
I'm
one of
having
the things that you advise them.
I'm having bad signal. I'm sorry. If you lose me, you can tell me.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would maybe like give help to the people that are living in X place. Let's suppose it's just a place where there are communities doing their lives. Maybe I would propose them maybe working with them or helping them with how they live to compensate the damage that could be done to them. I don't know, like the basic services, like putting something to help them, or involving them in the project so that their lives are not very changed, that they don't suffer much loss. And
Perfect. That is this kind that was the kind of answer that I was
oh,
looking for. And it's
okay,
always important to try to because as a humans and depending on our personality, we get some base like in the things that we believe, we are so clear about it. But sometimes the lives put us in some places that we need to change a little bit of our point of view and try to help
you
something higher or is something because of the work or whatever. So it's
living, yeah.
important to be related with the two sides of the coin, right? Like, okay, if I am a
Totally.
human rights defender, I have it easier. But what happens if I am representing the company? What I should do? What I can
Oh,
create for this? And that is always important also because it's our work. We are lawyers. We will not always be of the good part.
yeah. No, you're right. I think that the part
That
of
is
setting limits. I'm sorry if I'm excessing my time. Setting limits in the
no
work you
worries.
the project you are going to put on in some place should be compensated. Maybe in a different area, maybe close to the place you are using. I don't know, something that can help because of all the damage we're causing, and for years and more and more and more and more. So yeah, that would be main reflection that I got today.
Okay, Laura. Laura and Karen, because I have to say the same now, then I cannot say it before, after, sorry. And before, no, after. Después. Ahí tuve un choque mental. Hello. We are so close to finish with this course.
Yeah.
And I am waiting for all the papers that I will read it and I will do like the feedback in one of our speaking calls because it's important. And so we're having a couple of lessons more, and now we are going like to the last part that is like the debates that I want that we created. So it's I want that you are planning this in your head, that you start to seeing one topic that will find like so connected with law but also with some interest, and you start to keep it in your mind because by the end of by the end the next week we will do a debate between
Oh,
all or some debates because maybe the speaking calls will take us time. We have to see some medical stuff and some insurance. I want that will be so interesting, like medical negligence and all this, and not necessarily will be connected with this, but it's a really interesting topic where we can find some really controversial points of view and we can go in against it
that's okay.
and do this exercise going and back because always it's like, oh, tell me your opinion that. But I want that we develop some oral expressions skills, so get ready for that and see you soon. Thank you so much for your time,
Okay.
Laura, and I'm
Thank you.
starting right now with Karen. And before you
Okay.
leave, please fill the survey. Did you do it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. Oh,
I'm not
wait,
sure.
wait, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your
Bye.
time and
Have a
see you
good one.
tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. Bye bye, bye bye. Hello, before and after.
Hello.
Estoy cansada. Ya el cerebro me hace así como, no conecta, no conecta. How are
Claro,
you?
es que son como las 9 de la noche, ¿no? Por allá, casi.
Son las 9, sí, pero son
Sí,
seguiditos, uno tras otro, uno tras otro.
exacto, sí, no es para menos.
Okay, so Vanessa here, done. I want that you explain to me, please, which part of this article was the most interesting for you, your favorite part, but also what results so controversial for you. And after that, I will do some
Mhm.
questions.
For me, it was very interesting the part of that explains how Bolsonaro managed this kind of politics in the Amazonas, but and that's why
I
uh,
will be here. I just will turn off a little bit the camera because my signal
okay,
always with you is really bad. I don't know why. I will put a little bit down the camera and I will silence my microphone because I am having a lot of music. Can you see it? Can you
okay,
listen?
no,
It's like it's really loud.
just
Bueno,
uh-huh.
like it is really loud. And I will see if maybe this helps with the signal, and if not, I will turn it on again. Because here I got like a message, like my signal is unstable. Your too?
Okay. No, mine is it's fine.
Mine
But
is like really bad.
but it's not a problem. You could turn off the camera.
But I am here, listen. I am here.
Okay.
So what?
Okay. In my case, I found interesting the part of that explains how Bolsonaro has managed this kind of problems in the Amazon and fires, but in the sense that in the article they put every guilty under Bolsonaro. But I remember when Dilma Rousseff was Brazilian, the ex-president of Brazil, she in a climate change conference, I think around 2014 or 2015, she said in a conference that Brazil has not a duty with the world and they will use everything in their country to reach development. So this kind of politics is not just from Bolsonaro, that it's adopted by Brazilian politicians many years ago. Bolsonaro right now it's applying everything in his discourse, but in his electing discourse. But at the end, this is a politic that it's very um, um, or adopted by Brazil very many years ago. So that was very interesting for me. And the second part was about how Brazilian government um, decrease resources from governmental institutions that protect indigenous territories and environmental, because this is a very usual strategy in America Latina or Latin America. So this is very usual when some government wants to close some institutions. They decrease the financial support. So that was very very um, common, but it's not a good um, behavior from a government. And I don't. Also, were discussing about a few weeks ago, I think, about how indigenous territories are sometimes close, are far away from cities and are closed for visitors or tourists. And I um, think that I didn't realize how COVID was impacting these communities, due people that are invading their lands. And I really didn't realize about that, but it was very interesting for me.
Okay, perfect. As I will, because helps with the signal. So I will put you in some awkward situation as always, right? That is basically we know that all these interests always are so or are from different and opposite point of view, right? And we are having the same issues and same troubles in all Latin America. That is something that works with us. But I want to ask you if you belong to some part of the government or to some part of the company that has a lot of interest on the business. Of course that you cannot just close the business and that's it. And if the trouble is extractions, oh yeah, but the solution is like we are not getting more extractions, the extractive sectors are done, and that's it. No, because the economy didn't work like that. So I want to ask you that you are the legal consultant of one huge company from, for example, soy extract or soy plantations or livestock market, some silver extraction, gold extraction. What kind of decisions or what kind of suggestions you can give them for help to reduce the impact of this industry against whatever or against some I'm putting because it's like some personal, but I am the closest thing that I can go to the Wi-Fi, I am there. And so basically is that what is your suggestion, like legal suggestion, if you cannot finish with the business, what you can suggest them for help to all the bad consequences of the business results?
Okay. Actually, every industry is not matter how fierce it creates impacts in the nature and the environment. So it's impossible not doing an impact. Even if you are in your house, you are creating an impact in the environment. So I think that this kind of activities could be developed, but just if the cost of the in the nature is not irreversible. I don't know, irreversible,
Irreversible. Mm-hmm.
irreversible, because you have to put three, I think three balls in the situation: the social situation, the environment situation, and the economic situation. And that three fields are related, and that couldn't be separate, because everything interacts with each one. So I think the first step, if you are in an you are industrial, or if you have an industrial enterprise or or activity, it's to make every technical studies that supports your activity, in the sense of being the less, or in order to consider and prove that you are developing that activity, doing the less, delay, yeah, the least, the least impact, or is the best way to develop that activity. And that implies that you have to prove that your activity have no impact in the health of the communities, um, by using chemicals, or if the extraction impacts biodiversity, because these kind of activities, for example, could be the finish of an species, or could be, for instance, have a bad result in health in the community. For example, in Costa Rica, there were plantation industry that used in the 70s, and chemical that sterilize every woman and men around the fields, the crops. And that was an unfortunate situation, but they didn't, um, they started to use that chemical without technical studies. So when the damage was made, and there was not a remedy for that. So that's the other part of that kind of activities. Also, I think the government could create protected protected areas that are out of those kind of activities. For example, in Costa Rica, we have national parks, and anybody can develop industrial activities in there. But in other areas in Costa Rica, it would be possible just if you prove by technical studies that the environmental impact is not bigger. So that's the second part. And even if the okay, I'm pretty sure that there are specialists in around the world that could calculate the value of a nature good, or a nature, how stock. I don't know how to explain that, but they are like people that
Did in
could,
Spanish?
peritos que calculan el valor de un
Yeah,
bien
experts.
natural.
Like experts
Experts.
that can do, yeah, that can do a research about the value of some natural sources
Okay.
or
Uh,
resources.
okay, they could calculate the national resources value, and with that result, you could put in the balance how it's better for the country. And so it's not just not a quantity measure, because that involves a quality issue. For example, if you are losing a family species in for, or how to explain that, if doing an activity implies to extinct an species, it's a high level of damage than to, I don't know, use a land and keep every species. Is different.
Yeah.
So
But the
I
thing that you said is so valuable, taking account that you can be in different actors or in different from different places to the same situation. It's depending if you are from the government to belongs to an NGO or if you are representing the interest of one or to some companies. So always when I am trying to give these kind of articles is because I want that you like travel to this situation, go back and go to the future, but also that you analyze the article from the career, like as a lawyer, but also from all the possible point of view that you can get, right? That is the thing, that is the key word of the issue, right? To find what results or what makes me realize what I want. That is the key of these kind of reflections, and of course from the speaking calls
Mhm.
we can realize it. Okay, thank you so much for your time. As I told you, keep in mind for the topic. And please, before you leave, I will ask you that you fill the survey.
I already feel it.
Okay, and I will see
Mhm.
you soon. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Daisy, how are you?
Hi, good night, Gali.
How is everything going?
Everything is good. Hi. Everything is going good.
Okay, can you please turn on your camera?
Yeah, yes.
My signal is really bad tonight. I don't know why, but we will try. If we are having troubles or I am like stop, just let me know. Okay, so I want to please ask you, do you have time to read the article?
Yes, I read it.
Okay, I want that you tell me, please, what part do you find like more interesting?
Mm, the part where it talk about that the government don't do nothing for the rights of the indigenous people that live in this place, and that the government is that the president can leave that everything born if he can has have a profit about it. And I don't know, I found it like I don't know, I can't believe because is they him country, I mean he's the responsible for the country, and he must to do something to solve the problem, but he's avoiding, and he's blamed ONGs for the fire, and the people who live in the where is the fire. I mean, they are trying to protect their lands, and the government, I mean, don't do nothing.
Yeah, I understand. Do you think that in your country you can find these same troubles?
Mm, now, no, but in the past we had many problems about that or related to this, but now in the present, not too much.
Why?
Because at least in my country we don't have like a forest or a place where live indigenous people, because mm, don't exist anymore. And now the problem is like people who live in rural zones, um, people who don't have access to basic resources. So the problem is not about indigenous people here. The problem here is about the poor people, the people who live in rural zones that are far away of the capital or the resources that all we have. Or also for the violence in the country, in many communities you can enter in the community because here in the country determinate to, I don't know how to say pandillas, but this kind of people. So
Oh,
if you are
yeah. Like the group of people that maybe are against to some rules, but like the specific ways like to pandillas, but
homies,
don't
I
makes
don't
a lot of
know.
sense. No, no, it makes a lot of sense in English because they just have some yeah, like it's like some marginal groups will be the best
Marginal.
thing to say it.
Yeah, in the country we
Mhm.
have two, the most marginal groups that I that determinate, I don't know, the country. And if you live in a zone where these group control, you can't enter in another community that control the another group. So it's so difficult because for teenagers or youngers that I don't know live of the commercial or selling different fruits, vegetable or something like that. People that sell in the street like la fruta, la papaya, and
Mhm.
they can go to another community, and if they go, they die. Many people, many youngers, these they disappear, and they appear, I don't know, a month, 2 months later, but die. Or people, there is people that you can find and it disappear even 2 3 years later. And this is the most difficult problem here, the violence, I don't know, and the government can do nothing. Well, now this violence is less because the president is doing, but before presidents, they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I perfectly understand. But I want to like it's like really valuable that from your all your environment you can maybe get a lot of a relationship with these indigenous communities, and maybe as we got it here in Latin America, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. But you are having some environmental issues as always, right? For example, you are getting some extractions from mines, or you are getting some plantations, you are getting some livestock market, como todo este tema de ganadería, that affects the environment, obviously. So I want to ask you, we will choose one. What is the product that produces your country? Like the main product that produces your country?
Mm, eh, I don't know, because until 2015, the coffee, the seal of coffee was the most important product, but now is, I don't know, has decreased,
Mhm.
and the profit of the coffee that we export is not the same that before. So now I don't know which is the product that covered the coffee now.
Okay, we will take that example from coffee. We will imagine that some group of producers are using some chemicals that are really, really hard, or that are harmful for the environment, but helps with, I don't know, maybe they make, I'm not a coffee producer, so I am just trying to give you the example, but they are trying to change the normal development of the plantation. They are trying to do it faster. And this affects the lands, the water, the community. The contamination is huge. And you are the consultant, you are the lawyer of this group of producers. So what kind of advices you can give them for try to fix or try to find the balance again?
Well, the people who makes agriculture used to use, I don't know how to say it in English, pesticidas
Yeah,
and
chemical, I see.
chemicals.
Chemical.
So we have our problems with that because chemicals. Okay, so
Mhm.
they use it, and these really affect the land, the water, the rivers that are close of the plantation. So I my suggestion maybe could be, because I don't really know about the agriculture, but maybe they can use natural chemical. No, it doesn't make sense. Natural products to avoid animals that can hurt the production of the product, or natural abono, so they can avoid the contamination with that.
Yeah, but I know that I'm asking too much because you are starting your career. But from all this long way that are you getting right now, it's so important that you always keep in mind that all the documents, that all the information that comes to you, it's important that you see it from some objective point of view, but also that you can change the sides of the coin. Okay, what happened if I work to the government in this situation? What happened if I am giving the legal advice to the investor? What happened if I am representing the indigenous communities? What happened if I am working with labor law and I am representing all these employers? Or yeah, or what happens with the labor rights, what happened with the water, and everything this, like that, to be active in this kind of matters, but also in all the information that gets or that comes to you in this context of law will be so helpful to you. Okay, so we are like close to finish this program. I will please ask you that you keep in mind some topics for do a debate the next week.
Okay.
And yeah, that is the plan. That will be like the final exam and a huge exam. But the idea is that we can
Gali,
share.
sorry, I can't I couldn't send the document, but I I have the document ready now. I will
Yeah.
send you right now.
Okay, you can send it to me to my email, and no worries, I will study it and I will read it. And from the next speaking call, I will try to start to do some feedbacks about it. But I am start to seeing some of them, like giving like a quick see, and I found really good production. So I will be waiting for your paper.
Okay.
Okay, Daisy, thank you so much for your time. I don't know what is happening with Francela. I guess that she didn't come tonight. And yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.
Okay. I already sent
The survey?
the survey. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, perfect. Bye bye. Hello, how are you? I cannot see you. No. I don't have your image, but I also didn't get your microphone, as always. Where are you? Hello, I'm waiting.
Ali,
Yes, now I can listen and I can see you.
did you receive my email yesterday?
Yes, I guess. I am giving like time to all your classmates that finish and to send it when they have time because of work, because of stress and etc. So I didn't take seat and I start to study all these papers, but no worries, if you send it, will be in my email. But I will confirm the date that I start to oversee it. And also, hopefully, the next week we will do the feedback. We are so close to finish with our course. I was so secure that it was on 19, but now I just figured out that it was 17. And they text me of one speaking call and it's like, oh no, I need to reorganize everything. So hopefully I can do it. Okay, Francela, do you have time to read the article of Greenpeace? Okay. What part do you find interesting and what part do you find some controversial? What part do you discuss with me tonight?
Okay, I read the article and the most concerning part for me was the part of the guardians of the forest under threat. It was explaining that there are indigenous communities that are being treated by the government. According to what I understand, it's also part of the government and the companies who are let's see, what's the name? Oh, the cattle for people who are trying to take advantage, because it was also explaining that there's a lot of pollution becoming after the forest being getting burned. But it also was concerning me the situation with the indigenous communities that are also being affected by the pandemic of the COVID-19. So I was concerned about thinking, how can you live in a place and where you have been always living, and now you're being affected by the pandemic and by the behavior of the people that is around you, and then the behavior of the government, because it was explaining that the president, it has the name of the guy, let's see, Jair Bolsonaro, that he was trying to like tell them that there would be like castigo. How can I say castigo? Like that the government would be sending the military forces, or that there would be people penalized if they realize that this is something that is being caused. But then it just only works. It seems like the government is not taking the position that they should be taken. And then the other part is the part of the pollution, that it is also affecting all around the world. I think it would affect us all around the world, because even if it was explaining about the climate at the bottom of South America, it is also affecting us, because the Amazon is a forest and is one of the biomas. How can I say biomas in English? It's the same bioma.
Dime.
How can I say bioma in English? It's the same bioma.
Bioma, no sé. ¿No es una palabra que utilice?
It's a word that is here. Let's see.
I didn't remember.
Because it was explaining, the article was explaining that the Amazon is part of of one of the biomas that we have. I cannot find it here. Let's see here.
But for the location, right, and how they can like oxygen basically all the environment
How
around
can
the
it
Earth,
oxygen?
like
Yes,
the
because
biome, the
biome is
biome. Ujú.
okay. Yes,
Así
because
como, creo que me acuerdo, creo que sí, estamos
uh,
hablando de la misma palabra. Me dan
bioma.
ok,
Sí, que el Amazonas es
pero
aquí.
en español no lo utilizamos mucho.
No lo utilizamos mucho.
O sea, lo utilizamos en un contexto médico, pero las consecuencias o no hay como manera de hacer como un analogismo porque las consecuencias médicas de un bioma son terribles. Entonces, como es distinto. But yeah, it's like basically the old importance of the location of the Amazon for all the world and
And
how these ecosystems make us alive and our next generations.
and also the way that the farmers of the cattle are taking advantage or are part of the problem because they are starting like the fire, so then they can clean the place and where they would put their cattle. So it is concerning how you can take advantage of a situation in where somebody it's being affected, and you don't care because you would take advantage of it, and it would you can use it to produce more money even if it is affecting the country and the planet.
Yeah, that is true. But from all the aspects that we get around us in our career and in our personal life, it's always important to get other points of view and other sides of the coin, right? So I want to ask you, we will imagine that this livestock market is a huge industry where you are related because you are the legal advisor of one of these huge uh, businesses. One kind of suggestions, like going by the legal point of view, do you think that will be interesting or will be helpful to try to balance these harmful decisions and try to balance the consequences to the environment?
Okay, what can be a legal advice? Well, this is like an interest conflict, the one that you are telling me, in where just one of the parties would be would obtain a benefit. So I think that avoiding burning the forest, it's part of it. If you want to if you want your factory or your company to grow, you should try thinking, how can I do it without being harmful for the others around me? Because it's like the same, they are the same citizens of the place, and it is affecting just, it's not affecting just the public property, it is also affecting the private property. So I think what they can try to do is to sit down and try discussing uh, how can the people who live there, or how can the indigenous communities can take advantage of what they would be doing, of the activities that they would be performing, so they won't think that they are just being affected. So for example, if we're talking about cattle and it's up like a private company, maybe we can offer them part of the money that we would obtain, so they can use it in their indigenous communities to produce more, or to produce food, or just give me just a moment. Sorry. So maybe they can share what they are taking with the indigenous communities. If we're talking about cattle that they would put or that they would establish in that place that they are pretending to become the owners, maybe they can negotiate, or they can say, well, the 100% of the income would be, for example, $200. From those $200, I would share with you the 40% because you are sharing your property, 40% would be for the indigenous communities, and the 60% would be for the private property. So I think that avoiding burning the forest, it's part of it. So if we're talking about cattle that they would put or that they would establish in that place that they are pretending to become the owners, maybe they can negotiate, or they can say, well, the 100% of the income would be, for example, $200. From those $200, I would share with you or you can lend me your property and I would put my cattle there and both of us would take advantage of it.
Mhm. Okay, that is a really interesting point of view that how you can manage the interest. Okay, now I know that looks so interrelated with our last speaking call, but I want to ask you other process that in your environmental, like in your context, in your social context in Costa Rica, like what case do you find relevant that get a lot of topics involved? Like of these topics involved, right? Like human rights, environment, maybe some indigenous communities, contamination, corruption, and you talk like in these 2 3 minutes more that you talk. No, sorry, you are right. No, yes. Um, that in these 2 2 3 4 minutes more, you explain to me more about your reality and your legal uh, reality.
Okay. This is not something that is public, but this is not something that I know that it has been happening. Um, there is something that we call here zona marítimo terrestre. It's like a space where the ocean finish at the beach, and it's a part of the beach that you cannot use to construct for private construction. Okay, so we realized that there are companies, that there are realtors that are pretending to sell those parts of the country, and what they are telling the people is that they can try to, you're not going to become the owner, but you should be paying the realtor for the rights of managing that part of the country. So they are telling the people that they can construct in that area, even if it is a part of the ground that in where you cannot do anything. Even if you put like a gate, this is something that is not legal because of the animals that are going to live there, or flowers that you can find at that part. So this is something that has been happening, and we realize that uh, it is involving a lot of different areas, legal areas, because it is involving private property. It is involving parts of the country that are part of the country, that are the maniales. How can I say the maniales in English?
¿De qué?
De maniales. De
¿De
maniales,
manuales?
sí, la
No te
propiedad del
entiendo.
Estado que no es inalienable, imprescriptible,
Mm,
todos esos. Entonces,
bueno, esa expresión en específica en español yo no la conozco porque en Colombia no la tenemos. But when we are talking about these descriptions, we can say like it's inalienable, unalienable, unprescriptable, inalienable, prescriptible,
inembargable,
inembargable.
unembargable.
It's like write it with U, unembargable, but it's like UE.
So
And
yes,
how and give me again the word.
de
The what?
maniales,
The maniales?
de maniales.
What? I never listened that before. I don't
Yes.
know. Yes, like I understand the concept because you cannot sell some part of the ocean because that belongs to the states or to the government.
Sí,
Like
los
all these.
demaniales son todos los bienes que son parte del patrimonio del Estado. Entonces,
Yeah.
son parte, digamos, de Costa Rica, pero no existe ninguna persona que pueda tener
The
un título
owner.
de acreedor. Ajá.
Yeah. Same in Colombia, but we never use this word. We describe, of course, the like we can describe all this real estate at some like adjectives or the real estate that belongs to the government, and you can use it for all these civil contracts or also by businesses, because sometimes by agricultural law you can get some lands that before was unprescriptable, unembargable, everything. But then by the way that are happening, you get this information, right? And you can use it, but not as a subject. It's just a description of what the real estate that belongs to the government is. But we never get like a way to talk about this group of adjectives. No, for me it's like, what are you talking about? So for me it's like a completely new aspect.
There is
But
a
I understand the point. That happens too much in the north of Colombia. They sell the islands that didn't have papers, and they try to find some ways to explain that was ancestral rights of their families and whatever. And then they ask that the government give them that, and after a huge process that takes years, we can get a results, and they built houses in the islands.
and they are telling the people, well, this is the part of the beach that it would be yours.
Mhm.
So you can decide what to do on that part. So some of them are being defeated because they are telling, well, this is what I pay for, and there's nothing I can do here. And when they are pretending to construct or to put like a single chair, the people are telling them, no, this is not something that you cannot do. And the other part is because we're in the middle of a pandemic, so all of the beaches has like a schedule and where you can stay there legally.
Mhm.
But then, for example, it used to be at 2:30 p.m. So if you say more than 2:30, um, the police is going to, you're going to get convicted, or they would assign you like a fine. So how can they explain the police that this is like a part of the sky and the beach and everything that they pay for, and they are not the owners? So it
Yeah.
includes different areas. And the other thing is that there is a book that we read here at high school. The name of it is La Loca de Gandoca. It's a huge book explaining about a girl that she owned a property that then it became part of the government, and she got crazy because she said, this is my property and I would continue staying here, but then because of the characteristics of the place and the animals and all of the flowers and what you can find over there, it it didn't continue being private property.
Mhm.
Those are part of the things that I know. One of them is the one recent that I found about 2 months ago with with an expat that was supposed to buy a part of the beach, and then when he shared like the el plano, how can I say el plano? When
Yeah.
he
When you go,
showed,
yeah, like the construction plans.
well, when he sent me the construction plan, I told him, well, I should visit the area, but I just see that there is like the ocean, what you would find, and you cannot construct your house at the ocean. So this is not something that is going to be happening. He said, well, this is what they told me, that I can go there and park my boat, and then I can construct my house and everything. And this is something that didn't happen. But some of them are being defeated by the realtors.
Okay. Another thing that I was like talking about with some of your friends from Costa Rica, your Costa Rican colleagues, is like you are having a lot of troubles with tourism because of course that they are taking the natural resources, the water is going to the hotels, and that is a really hard situation. So imagine that are you representing this like hotel and hostel sector, like you are the lawyer of all this group of investors or it's not factories, it's just businesses or entrepreneurs. What kind of suggestions, like legal advice, you can give them for solve this interest issue with government? because it's
Because
something that they need and it's basics for the product or service that they are giving to the tourists and all these sector of economy.
okay, one important thing that I learned during the pandemic is that if you are a tourist guide, you are responsible of the environment. So you should be telling people, for example, if you go to Manuel Antonio, where you can find monkeys and different animals, you can tell them, well, you need to let them know that they can see the animals, but they are not allowed to provide them with food or to touch the animals because they should continue in their environment. So you are responsible, if you are a tourist guide, you are responsible of the places, of taking care of what people is going to see. So it is difficult. I know it is difficult because the economy, our economy in tourism, and it's like almost broken. Um, Part of what they can use or what they did was to like reactivating the tourism with local people, with all of the Costa Ricans. You should be like, how can I say? You are responsible of taking care of what makes this country different, the flowers and everything you see. So, what can I tell to the tourism sector? Hmm, this is kind of difficult because everything has been closed during a year, and there's a lot of people who lose their jobs. So I don't really have like a suggestion because this is part of the sector that has been
More affected.
like a standby, like us who work in
Sorry.
this is part of the people who are being affected directly. Tourism and immigration are parts that are being affected because of the borders being closed and the airports being closed. So it's kind of difficult. I don't
Okay.
really have like a suggestion to tell them to what can they do to. No, I don't think I have like an answer because it puts me in a position in where I don't even know how everything is going to continue affecting me
Yeah,
because
that is
I
true.
work with tourists.
Yeah, it's always have like um I don't know. Sometimes I guess that I overthink this stuff, and I like to the people overthinking also because when I see or when I read an article and I start to put myself in situations like different situations, like what happened if this or of this, what happened if I'm working for the government, what happened if I'm working, and that is the kind of the exercise that I'm trying to push yourself and to push all of you to do every time that you get information, every time that you start to realize how they're moving, how the decisions have been taken, who are taking the decision, why, what are the reasons, what are the resources, what is the sources that I get for get some information, where I take my information. So this is it's so good that you say like no, I don't have an opinion, I don't have this or this or this, but I really appreciate your point of view. And I will ask you that please you keep in your mind a really huge and important topic for you and from all your development as a lawyer, because we will get a debate the next week that will be like our final exam. And I want that you start to create ideas like if I am doing a debate about what topics I want to talk, not about the position, because I will decide the position, but about the topic. What topic do you want to discuss or defend? And yeah, basically that. Before Judith, I will please ask you that to fill this survey, and then we are done. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being tonight. And I know that is Monday, but it's life. I need to get balance. Balance is the word of the night. I am doing balance for everything, but I need to get ready and updated with this um, class that will lose by my fault.
Thank you,
Okay.
Gali.
Thanks to you. Thank you so much. And I hope that you get a nice day and a nice night. And I will see you tomorrow. I
Thank you.
saw you with a traveler that I follow. ¿Algo
Who?
más que un viaje?
He is one of my customers.
Wow, what happened?
Yes. Yes, ay, le voy a hablar en español, no le voy a hablar en
Sí.
inglés. Hay una comunidad española que está ahorita en Costa Rica y nos contactaron a Yasmín y a mí y un amigo muy cercano de Alfonso nos recomendó y
Oh, qué
Alfonso
bien.
llegó a nosotras, pero inicialmente no sabíamos quién era. Mi mamá sí porque ve televisión española y lo sigue, pero yo no sabía quién era él. Me llamó la
Sí, es un
atención que
viajero.
lo vi que
Yo lo
estaba en...
conocía. O sea, no lo conocía físicamente, ¿no? Conozco su viaje.
Sí, y entonces cuando tuve la oportunidad de conocerlo ya en persona, empezó a contar sobre, bueno, las ONGs que él ha ayudado y todos los viajes que ha hecho. Y entonces fue demasiado. Fue
Qué
demasiado
lindo.
porque a veces uno piensa o se pone límites y cree que tal vez ese tipo de personas no van a llegar porque el negocio tal vez es nuevo, ¿verdad? Digamos, porque la marca de nosotros es una firma muy joven en comparación con otras firmas que ven la misma área, pero sí.
¿Y qué áreas? Perdón, lo chismo sienta. O sea, no tiene que ser específico, pero ¿tuvo problemas con temas de migración o más bien como con...
Está de paseo en el país
Ok.
y entonces coincidimos, cosas extrañas de la vida, coincidimos
Ujú.
y es una persona muy agradable, es muy noble y es muy humano, es como se ve en esos videos, ese, sí,
Ay, qué
es muy
lindo. Yo lo vi, yo
simpático.
dije, Francela es hippie. Ah, no, mentira. Sí, como, eres de las nuestras. Ay, ay, qué tierna.
Sí. Sí, y él de hecho dice, yo le pregunté de todos los países que usted conoce, ¿cuál es su lugar favorito y por qué? Y me dijo, yo no le voy a decir de un país favorito porque conozco muchos, pero le voy a decir que África cambia la manera de ver la vida. Y empezó a decirme, porque donde algo como el agua, que abrimos el grifo y no, tenemos, en África no hay agua, hay enfermedades, pero no hay alimento, la gente no tiene vestido. Y empezó a contarme, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo fue su experiencia y cómo eso lo cambió? Yo dije, bueno, afortunadamente llegó a nosotros. Sí,
Qué loco.
muy fun.
Bueno, me alegra y lo que te digo siempre. O sea, los sueños están ahí para agarrarlos de cabeza y darle la vuelta. Está bien eso.
No lo conoce porque lo sigue, pero si no,
Sí,
no se hubiera dado cuenta. Y anda caminando por la calle como cualquier persona, como usted y como yo.
sí, lo sigo. De hecho, lo último que sabía el tipo era que estaba en España, como en un velero. Hace mucho tiempo no veía como sus historias. Y luego entré a Facebook y vi, yo, "What?
Ujú. Sí,
Ah, bueno, me alegra, mi vida se está volviendo famosa.
sí,
Eso está muy bien, me
sí,
alegra
sabe.
mucho.
Muchas
Bueno,
gracias.
entonces ahora sí te dejo, nos vemos mañana en clase, que descanses y bueno, estamos en contacto.
Está bien. Chao, hasta mañana.
Chao, que estés bien, adiós.